What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wombo Combo Show. My name is Ben Kepler.
I'm Ben Yukonis.
And with us again, our special guest, we've got Nate Bennett in the building.
Back again like I
Big
never
Horace
left.
in here. What
Like
is
I
up,
never
man?
What is up, bro?
Bro.
Gotta bring Nate in for that NBA talk, guys, because, I mean, me and Ben, low-key, we don't know very much about NBA. We only pay attention to the news blotters. NFL's our thing,
Bro,
but that's okay.
I mean, it's fine, though, because
A lot
now is
going
the
on.
time. It's the best time to pay attention.
Yeah.
Playoffs are heating up.
A lot. I watched last night. Last night was pretty entertaining. There was also some news that we'll catch on later on some injuries and things of that nature.
Talk about that. Definitely got to talk about that because
it's going to change it up.
We know it's going to change a lot how everything shapes up. So
Some
excited
sneakers
to
in
talk
there.
about it.
Some teasers in there. Get some teasers for later in the show in there. Ben's like, I don't know what they're talking about.
I know about one big thing that might happen, but we'll wait.
We'll touch on that in a
later.
minute. First topic I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about this. I had popped in for a couple minutes this weekend from the lazy boy chair, talking to the guys. I think that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Sitting back on the lazy boy and
Just-
talking football. Can you complain?
Yeah,
No.
Not at all. Not
But
at all.
that was, I don't know if you two had seen this, but the Cincinnati Bengals first and second round draft picks.
Sitting out.
Yeah, they're not even signing their they don't like their contracts. They're not playing.
So did you? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Was it about the what's written in for like the rookie camp about the Medicare that they're getting?
No, it's more so the share. So the same pick from last year is making what is it like 15% more or something. So
I have no idea.
the way that the language is in the contract, essentially they're just not getting as much money as the same exact pick from the year before.
Yeah.
So they're like,
It's peeled back. It's kind of like how the Steelers do.
Yeah, I saw something where it was mainly about like if they get hurt, they're screwed.
But see, here's
In a
the
way.
thing.
that might be somebody
That's
else.
what I thought. It was more
Yeah,
like player safety.
because
type
I didn't
stuff.
even know that it was two.
Well, here, let me add on that. The NFLPA added 2 years ago an insurance policy that any rookie who's unsigned still, they get rookie minicamp insurance. That exists.
Yeah,
So-
and the bank and yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. In the language of the contract with just the Bengals, they don't have that for rookies.
That's crazy.
yeah. So
I think I did hear that too.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw that earlier today.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, okay, that makes sense why they're not.
Poverty franchise.
Yeah, that's why they're not
That's
participating
exactly
in rookie
right.
camp.
That's exactly right.
And then okay, so that kind of leads into what else we're going to talk about with George Pickens and stuff with
Absolutely.
the Steelers
Mm-hmm.
and how he, again, a similar tirade to what Najee was saying, we're cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have something on that I'll bring up here in 1 second because one of our viewers and I got into an argument about the definition of a poverty
Which
franchise.
I still owe. Speaking of viewers and discords and all that, I owe you some shin punches. For go
Hey, let's go
T-Wolves.
T-Wolves, baby.
No, absolutely not.
They won last night, right?
I know, yeah, they did. And
I fell asleep. Dude, you can't play basketball games at 9, 10 p.m. and
No,
expect
it
me to
was-
stay awake.
It was a really late game,
Yeah.
and I knew they were going to lose anyway. But what everybody is forgetting, I mean, the Warriors are standing in these games without the best shooter in the world. So
I'll say this.
That's true.
Jonathan Kuminga looked very good last
he
night.
did,
He looked very
especially
good.
early.
In the first half, he looked
especially
really
early,
good.
he looked really good. He
For a
looked
guy
like
who
old
doesn't
JK.
watch. For a guy who doesn't watch a lot of NBA, the first thing I said is, I thought Jonathan Kuminga got benched and he sucks. He had like 16 points in the first half, and like they were well earned 16 points. This wasn't that like garbage.
He went to the
layups.
line
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a
All
real
right.
good first half.
It was extremely serviceable. Red is in chat. He says Pacers in 5. I think that might be the case. Cleveland folding. What's going on there? I don't know if you noticed. Cleveland had like set records
they
this
had,
year
like,
for the most wins ever.
Didn't they have the best record in all of NBA?
Yeah, had the
Yeah,
best
so-
record, number 1 seed. I mean, it goes back to kind of the Warriors' problem. You can't just rely on one person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
100%. If you focus your team around one guy, he's not there. Guess what? The whole thing falls apart.
I mean, and even if they are there, if you only have one person, but the other team has 3, 4, all 5.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What are you gonna do?
Plus a 6.
You know,
The
bench
6 man.
player.
Yeah,
no,
6
yeah,
man.
literally bench players play.
No, there's
a
big
huge,
6
yeah,
men out there.
Bench
There's
players
big.
play a huge role. So
I do know basketball terminology though.
There we
I
go.
just don't know players.
There we go.
I don't know who's playing
Speaking
where.
of 6 men, Nas Reed is the man. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
No, you're absolutely right.
He
Nas
is.
Reed is that guy.
Big problem with Golden State, your team though.
Yeah.
And this is just from what I've watched. Is it looks like because they don't have Steph Curry, that means that all of the other playmakers on that team have to dribble more. And that didn't seem to be a thing that they had to do that much. You have Steph Curry handling the ball, moving the play, getting the play in rotation. Once the play starts, I mean, there isn't a lot of face-to-face dribbling defense.
Warriors play is a lot of off-ball screens and movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, even if you really watch it, like Draymond will bring the ball up the court.
Okay.
And Curry is just running around.
True, that was last night. Draymond did bring the ball down like a good 4 or 5 times, and I'm like, why is old Draymond carrying the ball?
But yeah, and that's the thing, you know, like a lot of people, oh, Draymond sucks, Draymond's this, Draymond's that, but like that, those are people who literally don't watch ball. Like Draymond is a point forward.
True, he doesn't shoot threes very well though, because I'm gonna tell you
doesn't-
last night.
No. You know, he'll get
That's
in
what
his
I
bag.
noticed.
He'll get in his bag sometimes, but that's
a
something that
defensive
he's
player.
lost. Yes,
You know?
he's the grit, but also he can control and command the offense. So a lot of times, like I said, you'll see him bringing the ball up the court, and that's what Curry does. He'll just run around off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, now they're forced to, because they don't have that
Dribble
person.
and make a play. Yeah.
So I mean, that's what Butler was brought in for. Playoff Jimmy should be showing up. But
Kind of is, right? He kind of is.
again, it goes back to the one person.
Yeah, he's the only one. You just got to guard him. If you're guarding him, what else is out there? No,
Exactly.
I agree with you completely.
Exactly.
Other big news since we're on NBA. Did you see that Jason Tatum? I don't know if it was last night or the night
it
before.
was last night.
It was last night.
It was earlier in the day actually, because that game happened at 3:00.
That's right. I don't know why that would happen on a Monday like that, but
NBA playoff basketball, man.
yeah. Same thing with like MLB. They play games like noon. Like everybody's at work. How the hell do you have people in the stands?
Because they play 182.
True.
Yeah,
True. And
something
I'm,
like that. I think it's
yeah.
162. but-
Or, yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah,
Is basketball 82 games?
it's
Ba-
82.
basketball
Yeah,
is 82.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, so he is going to be out for the remainder of the playoffs.
it looks like
Jeez.
so.
he had a surgery last night or this morning.
Is that what they said? I haven't looked at the official news because again, I woke up this morning, went and did what I had to do, but
Bills.
it looked like it was an Achilles tear.
He ruptured his Achilles. Yep.
So
That's what I did. Let me tell you, it hurts.
I'm sure.
It makes you walk like a Confederate soldier for a really long
It's
time.
literally one of the only injuries that is visibly disgusting.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. No, because
I've
it
seen-
pops,
yeah,
dude.
We've watched Achilles pop and whatnot.
We've
I've
watched
seen
Achilles
I've seen
tear.
hamstrings pop.
Deshaun
No,
Watson.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
that's
nasty one
nasty,
too. That's a
too.
disgusting
Yeah,
one too.
you see the tension on the
ten-
leg go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is the most recent one that I feel like we all got a good picture of it.
Yeah,
like
that
you
was a
seen
bad-
it
yeah,
live.
Yeah, that was a bad
Um,
one. Literally watching
that was
it
a bad
like
one.
pop like a water
You could see
balloon.
it pop, and then also Aaron Rodgers was pretty visible too, since
Yeah.
there were so many cameras on
Yeah.
him at the time.
And even Greenlaw's from in the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
couple years ago.
I literally just watched a video of that.
Yeah.
like
Fred
2
Warner crying?
days ago. Yup,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was.
And
Oh
just
my!
running onto the
liter-
field.
And
Like
so
and pop the
so
shit. Like
you remember when what was our quarterback's name who literally obliterated his knee in practice?
Matt Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Literally
Oh my
on
god.
a routine, just like trying to juke away from
Yeah.
Brett, and
Blew his
it-
knee.
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah,
every
all of
tendon,
it.
MCL, ACL,
That was-
PCL.
Yikes.
It's one thing seeing those type of injuries on TV. It's a whole nother ball game seeing it live
And
and
lit-
right happen right in front of you.
like it was
it's-
crazy
it's
hearing
nuts.
it.
It is nuts.
You heard it, and then all you heard was him just cry. 'Cause it was, yeah, shout out to him. 'cause that
Shivering,
was,
bro.
no,
Shout out
literally,
Matt
literally,
Johnson.
shout out to him. Seriously, bro. Because
I ran
that was,
into him at
Did you?
Sheets in Springdale or Cheswick. Like, I mean, it's been like probably a year now, but
That's
I haven't
cool.
seen him since high school.
No,
so, like,
no,
that's-
seriously, no,
like-
that's cool. That's cool. Because
Oh.
like, yeah, no, seriously. shout out to him.
Other NBA news. Was there anything else really that's going on other than the Pacers taking their games up? I had another NFL thing that I did want to talk to you guys about.
No, I mean, unless you really wanted to get into nitty gritty stuff, there's not too much. Like,
until we get into the next round, it looks like we're. Oh, that is true. I did want to talk about that. Thank you for reminding me, Producer Paul. Last night, guys, was the NBA lottery, and somehow with a 1.5% chance, or maybe even less than that, the Dallas Mavericks managed to get the number 1 pick after just trading away Luka Doncic mid-season. Big crisis. Fans hate the team. Oh, look, here we go. We'll save you. Yeah. Here's your savior pick.
Kate Cunningham.
Like, no. They weren't. You think that's the same thing with Kate Cunningham?
Kate Cunningham. I mean, everything.
With Detroit? You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, look, so even if it's rigged, it's like this, right? The NBA is a league of parity. Above all else.
I agree.
Above all else, they look at
what the NFL does.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They really, really want to make sure that every team is exciting in some way.
For sure.
So,
I mean, do you agree it's rigged?
No.
You don't think it's rigged?
I don't think it's rigged in the sense that they're like, hey, they're definitely going to get it. You know, like they're just going to point it out. But it is rigged in the sense that even if, because it's literally a lottery, right? Like they literally have like the balls and everything.
In a jar and shake it around.
They should just pick the team they want to go to, then skip the lottery part of it. Because like I feel like LeBron to Cleveland, like come on.
That was
Or just get rid of the lottery.
Even Vic,
do it by standing.
But I mean,
Victor to the Spurs even can be. I mean,
it's almost like come on.
No, seriously, and that's what I'm saying though, right? Because they want all the teams to be exciting. So,
yeah,
every team has a star.
It just takes away from me. It takes away from the game.
How?
Because it's not like set in stone. Like when we watched the NFL draft 2 weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone knew that Titans deserved the first overall pick, and they were excited to watch them take their quarterback.
Yeah,
of the
but
future.
anything can still happen, right? Like trades and all that can happen. But I don't think it takes away because at the end of the day, the games still have to be played, right?
True, but hear me out on this. What if you're a Portland Trailblazers fan who really did deserve the number 1 overall pick, and now you get the number 5 overall pick, and when it comes to the NBA and the MLB, moving from even NHL 1 to 5 is a significant drop off in talent. Like it
can be, but I don't think it will be this year. It's eras, right? Like,
right.
There's a lot of good college players coming out.
For sure. Cooper Flagg is the number 1 , right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's definitely going to be the number 1 pick.
I thought he was number 1.
And so
that's
the rigged part. Like that's the conspiracy part for me, right? So, all right, Cooper Flagg, Duke. And they didn't win.
Yeah, they didn't do very good either. No, it wasn't a very stellar performance.
They're definitely trying to hype him up
because they lost out on him first. You think that so? What I'm hearing from you is this: you think that like Cooper Flagg's some sort of industry plant?
No. I guess I guess you definitely can interpret it that way because they are trying to hype him up. They are trying to make him like
they're trying to put him on a pedestal.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard for me to subscribe to that because you still have to do the thing.
Right.
You know, like the player still has to do the thing. So I don't care how much hype you have surrounding you. You still have to go out and perform.
Facts. So, Zion Williamson is a great example of that.
A perfect example
right?
of that,
That's
right?
what I was thinking.
And even still to this day, they still try to hype Zion up. Mm-hmm. And you know who my guy is. Like I was saying in the chord, bro. Put 25 pounds on Wembanyama and let him turn into the next
I love
Will.
Wemby. I love Wemby and I love Ant. Those are the 2 best NBA players in my opinion. There is nobody better than the 2 of them. That's just my personal opinion as a fan.
That's why I personally really love basketball so much because out of all of those, it's kind of like hockey too, right? Like those are the few sports where an individual can really
change the game.
Yeah, they can completely take over
Yeah,
the game.
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
So,
It's not like football where
no,
he's only on the
where
field
there's
half the
there's
time.
10 other people that you have to contend with all the
Absolutely,
time.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and that's why I really do love those two sports. And
Here's a question for you.
what up?
Is football the only sport that doesn't apply to?
No, because soccer.
Soccer, you play the whole time. You play both sides of the
Well,
field.
yeah, that's true too.
So hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, you're going to play
Well,
both sides
I mean,
of the field?
in football, the quarterback can technically just take over a game.
Right, but yeah, Joe Burrow.
I understand, but like when you, so for the entertainment factor of it, for just watching football, it seems like one person can technically take over a game via just for one side,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
of like the
I mean, for like
But
taking
that's-
over the game to win. Like you could have
But
Sidney
I
Crosby
think
take over a game to
I
win.
think
yeah,
and
no,
then-
that can definitely happen in the NFL.
Mhm.
But then I think
that can
too, if you think about it, like in those sports aspects, like football is the only sport where it's a true offense and a true defense, and nobody goes.
One person has the ball, that's it.
You still need 10 other guys doing their job,
right,
You know,
and
in
so-
order for you to succeed.
Yeah, so like in those other sports, like each player plays offense and defense.
Right. They play both sides of the field.
So
yeah.
so like I would say football is the only sport where like
At least an Americanized sport that we watch. You know what I mean? Because there's like rugby and crap like that. But like,
Yeah.
I don't watch that. I'm sure. I
yeah,
don't know the rules, but I'm
I
sure
don't
it's
know really
different.
the rules of rugby.
Rugby's a little bit more like football than anything else, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
You know?
But
When
I don't know.
the
I don't know
physical
anything about
aspect of
But
the game, yes.
but I would say, because any clip I've ever
Might be
seen
more
of
physical.
rugby, it's always just one massive dude destroying.
Or they're in that
everyone.
weird thing
And
where
he's
they all
always-
have their
he's
arms
always
locked.
Samoan.
No, yeah. It starts out. That's called the scrum.
The scrum.
I know that's how like the possession starts.
Okay. I don't
And
know
then
anything about it.
and then whoever comes out of the scrum with that, they're like, okay, pass it to the big dude, because like
yeah, who's normally Samoan.
more than likely,
Yeah,
You know what we should
like he's
do?
normally
No,
some big Samoan dude.
1000%.
Like,
We should do a Saturday pop-up show where the three of us just watch rugby and react to what the hell's going on, because we may or may
totally
not
do that.
know what's
I'm
going
down.
on.
I would love for us to do that with many other sports.
Well,
as
we
well.
can. I'll watch
Because
cricket and rap.
I was
like,
literally so
Well, I'll watch whatever. Baseball sucks. But
complete tangent. I work with this guy who's from Jamaica.
okay.
Like, he literally has only lived in America for 7 years.
Wombo Combo.
Literally. And I was asking him, you know, like what sports are big down there, because he's not big into sports.
Okay.
He was like cricket.
Yeah, I can imagine cricket.
And I'm
yeah.
like, yo, why like not soccer, you know, like, and he's like, nah, bro, cricket. I'm like, that's crazy. So yeah, I would love to
Culture's
do that. And
changing,
yeah,
it's
I
different
would
stuff,
love
bro.
to do that and learn about, you know.
I would watch it. The learn sports with the Wombo Combo Show Saturday morning pop-ups. We can
Yeah,
definitely
straight
set
up.
something up.
Straight up.
There's a couple other really cool games I was watching. One's kind of like a volleyball game, but it goes on the floor. There is no net. We'll talk about that at a different point in time.
That sounds
okay. I'm like, okay.
I did have one more NFL topic I wanted to cover with you guys.
right.
Not really something that's the biggest news anymore since it's already over with, but Derek Carr retired.
Yeah.
That means that Tyler Shuck.
Shuck.
Tyler
Shuck.
Okay, yeah, one day I'll say his
Shock,
name
like,
right.
zzz.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll never say his
Nah,
name
I
right.
ain't going to.
Tyler
I'm saying
Shuck.
Robio Dubes
Shuck,
the rest of my
Shuck.
life. But Derek Carr has retired. I wanted to get your guys' take on that. Do you think that it's Spencer Rattler who will be starting for the Saints to begin the season, or is it Tyler Shuck who has the job in hand? Is this a battle? Do you think one has a lead over another? Thoughts?
As of right now, no, it's going to be an open competition when they get to camp.
Okay.
I completely agree with. I feel like it should be that way.
Yeah, 100%.
If anything, Spencer would only have the head because he's been in the league,
there.
seeing the process of, you know, how training camp and all that goes.
Right.
But other than that, it should definitely be an open battle. Same thing with the Steelers.
I was just.
Yeah. Oh
He
my
brought it
God,
in.
yeah, dude.
He brought it in.
Absolutely, that should be a quarterback competition.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's exactly
sure.
what I was going to bring up next.
Yeah.
That was my like prelude to that. I was going to ask you, does Mason Rudolph, if we're not talking Aaron Rodgers, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't exist in this theoretical situation, is it a open battle between Will Howard and Mason Rudolph. And I want to hear from you guys. Which one do you think would win that battle out? And which one would you prefer to see if it's different than their first answer?
Man. My first gut answer is that it honestly probably doesn't really matter who necessarily wins that quarterback battle. Tomlin is still going to start the veteran guy over the rookie.
So I was going to say
Just for like a couple weeks
N-
until they realize we got to put in the young guy again. So like, it's just
you're not
it's
wrong.
just
This makes me not love it.
I mean,
but you're right.
I'm not wrong.
No,
At all.
absolutely not. And I would go even as far as to say that it wouldn't even be a couple weeks. Like,
Okay.
It'd be like week 1.
no, it would like the Mason's going to start all year. It's not.
You
It's
think
it's
so?
I
yeah.
don't
It's
think
not
he
going to be a battle unless he.
I don't think he's going to start.
unless he falls apart. He's going to start all year.
I mean, no, I
Simply
don't think
for
so.
the fact that, like you said, Tomlin's going to eventually go to the veteran anyway.
In the beginning.
I think it's just going to stay like that. I think
No, I mean,
hurts
with,
me to
with,
hear.
real quick. And you guys know how I am. I've said this a billion times. However, I think it might be really like the end of the Tomlin era in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I'll
I
tell you
think-
getting
that.
closer.
I think
It's closer than later. For
I think
sure.
the decisions that are being made are showing that the marriage is kind of fractured.
Separating a little bit.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a little bit of animosity. you
Not
think?
necessarily animosity. It's just the we're not on the same page, and how can we get back to the same page if that's what we want? And I don't necessarily think that Tomlin might want to get back on the same page, right?
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you this.
So, but Mason Rudolph is not going to be the starter for all 17 games. I can
I
guarantee
hope
you
not.
that.
I
can
hope
guarantee
not.
you that.
I don't want that to be the case.
He could even hold off Will Levis when he got the job after Will Levis got benched.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like-
no, I get you. No,
I'm glad
no,
I brought this
I
topic
get you.
up.
From the things that I've seen so far, because rookie training camp has started. Will has been out there doing some
Yeah.
things. There's
Yes, sir.
clips outside online. He doesn't look bad.
No, I think it's honestly a steal we got him in the 6th round pick.
It's 1,000% a steal that we.
yeah.
It's 1,000% a steal that we got a national championship winning quarterback
Yeah.
in the 6th round of the draft.
So
There's no,
Yeah.
that's never not going to be
Yeah.
a steal.
I mean,
But
the guy is like a legit 3rd, 4th round talent
when I agree, but again, like that's still 3rd and 4th round talent.
as a
100
quarterback.
100%.
In-
like,
in
so
a
like,
draft-
it's not great.
Yeah,
It's
right.
Not, that's
At-
not
at
great.
quarterback
It's not
in-
great.
right.
It's not great. So I mean, but there are other examples of guys who've been drafted 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Of course.
You
I
know,
mean,
I mean,
the
there's
goat. The
Dak.
goat. Literally, the goat. Tom Brady
Tommy
was
B.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Tom
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen fell to the 2nd.
Yeah.
Here's my
So-
thing on Will. I like Will, but if you were to watch his tape, I actually like his Kansas State tape better than I like his Ohio State tape.
Everybody does.
You know
Because he
why?
was
he runs.
Yeah. And
Yeah, they
he
did.
was a who was their wide receiver that he literally just fell in love with?
I don't.
Because he was like a magnet for him.
Is
at
he an
Ohio
NFL
State.
player now?
I don't think so.
I don't
actually.
know who would be
I
to be
can't
completely
remember.
Yeah.
honest. But
But
he looked
yeah.
a lot more like Josh Allen when he played for Kansas State.
I don't know why everybody
Because he's the
comps into
same
him.
size.
They
and
they
the
literally
same
are
weight.
the same height and same weight.
Exactly.
Are they?
Yes.
Exactly. They have the same.
So that's
measures
why-
as a
yeah.
human being, like same arm span, the whole 9 yards. They're exact same.
But does he have?
Doesn't mean anything, but
You're
doesn't
right.
mean
Does
anything.
he have like the athleticism that JA has?
he does. That's
I mean,
that's
he's-
why I like the Kansas State tape because
Okay.
you see him running and you
do-
go,
okay.
okay, and then
Yeah.
the linebacker's on you and you get another 2 yards and drag the ball forward. Okay, I like
Alright.
that.
Yeah.
But at
So-
the same time, if he doesn't have the mental
Right.
stability and ability of Josh Allen, then he will not be able
first
to
of all,
perform.
hold on, wait a minute, because I wouldn't say Josh Allen is not, doesn't have a high IQ, but he's a gunslinger.
Yeah,
he's
he
a
also was a
gunslinger.
gunslinger.
He's toned that
takes his-
down a little bit.
He
though.
has.
Well,
he
that's-
had- and that's what I'm saying, right? So if we're comping, I don't want.
That's like that.
Early
That's
Joe-
the
I
only.
don't-
That's really the only difference is that Will Howard's not necessarily a gunslinger
And that,
at all.
Okay,
really.
that's good.
So
Mm.
and that's what
I'm
made.
not gonna lie. Like
That's what made Josh Allen a first round pick. was
since
Will.
I knew that this year there weren't like any splash quarterbacks other than like Shador and maybe Milrow.
I like Seth Hennigan, even though he's not going to do anything in the NFL.
Really?
Yes, I do. He only is good at throwing it deep and running.
That's
it.
funny.
Yeah.
That's
White
that's
kid who can run.
That's a
and
really
chuck.
unique skill
Yeah.
set. That's like what's his name?
He's like Tim
The-
Tebow, basically.
No. It's like the
Tim Tebow could
tight
just
end,
run.
the tight end quarterback from the Saints.
Oh,
My
Taysom
God.
Hill.
Yeah. Because that's
Yeah.
literally all he can do is
That's
chuck
way
it and
better
run.
example
Chuck it
than
and
Tim
run.
Tebow.
No,
That's
you're right.
literally. That's literally.
He's still searching for a job. I wouldn't mind him coming over to the Steelers.
I
Looks like
absolutely would.
he's probably going to the
hurt too
Broncos.
much.
He's going to the Broncos.
He's hurt too
Yeah,
much,
and he's 35.
That
He is.
We don't
also
need him.
Old.
we don't need him. We already have Fryermuth.
We got
And
moved.
Big
We still got
Darnell
Washington.
Washington.
I actually
And
kinda
then
like
I think
Hayward.
we have
We
another
got
one,
Hayward too, who
Yeah.
can play fullback and tight end.
So,
like,
we
I
don't
like
need
Hayward.
any more tight ends.
I as we're talking about Steelers quarterbacks here, obviously, the news of this week was George Pickens
Let's get to it.
being
Let's
traded
get
away.
to it.
My first question for each one of you guys here on this topic is: did the Steelers get enough back in return? Ben?
No.
no, but I
He
mean,
said no.
no.
Just
But
straight up, no.
it's the same exact return they got for Antonio Brown. though.
Yes.
So like,
And
Antonio
that's true.
Brown was a hell of a better player when we traded him. than
1,000%.
GP
But
is
here's
now.
my thing, right? Like, oh my God. And this is what really upsets me about the Steelers. Going into the draft, even if you're not looking for another quarterback, and okay, you don't want Shador, whatever, why not do it then?
If in the fourth, fifth round.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it didn't
get you.
make. To me, the timing of the trade didn't make sense.
That's
Why
what really
do the trade
upsets
2
me.
weeks after the draft?
Well, I actually
So,
know
like-
the answer on that.
And, well, yeah, and
well,
they
because
said,
they weren't getting the matched value they wanted.
Yeah, they were getting a fourth
during
at
the draft.
best.
Yeah.
Fourth at best in the current
They,
year.
yeah, they
Yeah.
wanted at least
At least a
third.
third.
And so I mean, they got what they wanted, but
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
I'd really like to see a year with the Crash Brothers.
Me too.
Oh man,
Like-
right? That was the second thing. It was like, two pricks, right? It was the first prick was why so late,
Yeah.
and the second is man, we're
Now we
never
don't
going
get
to
to
be
see it.
able
Yeah.
to see DK and him just
Yeah.
obliterate
Oh, it
two
would've been
cornerbacks
100%.
and probably a safety.
Yeah,
100%. That was the only thing that I would say that I was looking forward to is if we were going to be starting maybe Mason Rudolph theoretically to start the season. Mason is a guy who can chuck the ball down
No,
the field.
he's going to
for
stand
sure.
in there and throw that
Yeah,
thing.
throw that
Yeah.
thing deep.
He's going to stand in there and throw
And
that
if you
thing.
got George and DK both down there, it would have been an awesome.
What they say, F it.
Yeah,
They down
yeah.
there somewhere.
Screw it. Screw it. He down there somewhere.
Down there somewhere.
On that topic, I now we've moved on from George. He's not here. My next question for the both of you would then be: is the wide receiver room better in 2025 than it was in 2024?
No,
Obviously not.
No.
No.
Okay.
it's
Why?
equally as bad.
Okay.
Is it
Literally
equal or
equally
equally or
as
worse?
bad. Equally as
It's
bad.
not worse,
It's not worse,
but
it's
it's
not better.
It's equal because literally, even if you look at the production that DK had in Seattle, it's the same production that GP had here.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
So, like,
And then-
statistically, it's the same thing. And then,
And we let Van Jefferson go, and we signed an old Van Jefferson and Robert Woods.
Yeah.
So, like,
Now,
and Calvin Austin. He's only a gadget guy, kind of a deep threat. And we
Yeah,
have no idea about Roman Wilson.
Though,
we got
especially with, I
hope we do.
I think though, especially with GP gone, Calvin might take a step, in the sense that if we look at Calvin realistically, he has a higher ceiling than what a lot of people give him.
I do.
He does have a higher ceiling.
He can definitely give us like 5 years of Wes Welker.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Calvin's great.
We just have to utilize him a lot better. Utilize his quickness off the line. You know, he's a slot guy. Get him doing some inside,
Some
some all of
yeah.
that stuff.
Hunter
like,
I heard.
Renfro.
The reason why Austin hasn't really like been a decent part of this offense is because what I've heard is he's not the best route runner.
Really?
He's
Yeah.
just fast.
That's
He's just
crazy.
fast in a straight line.
Wow, that sucks.
Okay.
So then that's something that he definitely has to work on. Then
Yeah. So if he can improve that, he can be
would that, and that's
legit,
what I'm. Yeah, all right, yeah.
So
wide receiver 2-3, like a legit wide receiver 2-3, not this. Just maybe
gadget,
sometimes makes a big play.
I hear you. Now, did you guys hear that we signed unrestricted free agent wide receiver? His name is Rock Taylor. I want you. I want you guys to remember this name, Rock Taylor, a dog. I believe it's Memphis that he's going to be graduating out of this year. Steelers immediately called him up when the draft was over and got him. If you look at Rock, he is one of the best contested catchers in the entire college football platform. Went undrafted. It doesn't have like those numbers you go, dang. But if you look at him, he's a Debo Samuel, not a Debo Samuel,
He's
but
a bigger-
Debo. He's a big dude.
bigger wide
And
receiver.
he's a throw it up to you kind of guy.
So DK.
Yes.
Yeah, he's like
so
DK.
it's like we got a poor man's Pickens maybe in the background after the draft. Steelers fans, I want you to remember that
What's
name.
going on with
Rock Taylor.
What's our other wide receiver? The one we drafted last year.
Oh, Roman Wilson,
Wilson,
who we've
yeah.
never seen before, who won a national championship and can't learn a playbook.
That's what.
That's his problem. He can't learn a playbook. He didn't heal up correctly, and his ability to absorb the playbook and put it onto the field is a problem.
So
How,
the
bro? I'll give you a
Steelers-
playbook, and I know that you can come back to me tomorrow and tell me all of your routes.
they have high hopes for
What?
him, though. They think he can. Obviously, they have high hopes for him to make a jump to improve from last year. Obviously,
Well, that
Which
jump can be
it's
anything.
not going to be that much of an
Well,
improvement.
I'm about to
for
say
him
a ju-
seeing
a
the
jump
field
for
would be an
him,
improvement.
We
Getting
need,
a kick
we need
return.
long jumps, man.
We need a huge jump. We need
we need
I'm
pole
a
vaults
stud.
maybe. Like we can't. Nah.
Yeah, for me, the Steelers locker room, wide receiver room rather, has not necessarily gotten better, guys. But I think that adding a veteran over George Pickens as the same kind of player is an upgrade. And then I like that Rock Taylor I mentioned. Keep an eye on that through training camp. We'll be at training camp, so maybe we
for
can
at
get
least
an
a day.
interview out of Rock. Maybe we can get him to give us an interview.
Wait,
Rock Taylor, if
what?
you see this, man, we
When?
want an interview. Huh?
When are you guys going?
I don't know. We're going to
Training
talk about
camp?
that. Yeah, whenever it starts up. You want to go with us?
Like July,
Of
late
course.
July.
All right,
early
then that's
August.
what we'll do.
Yeah, I'm off on
Straight
Tuesdays and like we.
Yeah, we're going to
Same.
go on a
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Straight
So we'll
up.
line that up. Yeah.
Straight up.
Let's go, bro. We're gonna interview some Steelers guys. It'll be a great time. Make sure you pay attention for that content. Make sure you're
For
subscribed.
those
Make
of
sure
you
you're
who
following.
don't know, like Steelers training camp,
Lit.
it's like a
never
rite
been
of
there.
passage. You've never been?
No,
Yeah,
I've never met a Steeler before in my life.
I didn't meet
Other
any
than Lynn
Steelers when
Swan.
I was there, but I went and watched. Me and my dad went down.
We've met Steelers. They came to the school for the teacher's Steeler game.
Never met him. I don't know what I was doing. Never met him.
That's crazy, bro. Heath Miller was there. I have a jersey signed by like 5 of them. And it was
Dang.
Heath Miller's jersey.
My nephew's named after Heath Miller. I have one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about this wide receiver room. So, and it kind of goes with what I was talking about earlier. I kind of tied this all together in my head like a pretzel earlier today. Derek Carr's gone.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I have 2 topics here, so let me get that out, and then I'll get your reaction of both together. Derek Carr is gone. Is Aaron Rodgers now a possible add for the Saints, or are the Saints going to go with what they have, and they're going to go into full rebuild mode? And is Chris Olave, they're taking calls for him, is Chris Olave a potential Steeler, and would you like to get Chris Olave if you had to spend a 2nd-round draft pick, 3rd-round draft pick? The one you gave away for George.
Aaron Rodgers does not go to the Saints.
Okay.
And they roll with what they have at quarterback. I don't see the Steelers trading for Olave.
You don't see them trading for Olave?
No, not
If it was
not
available, would
Olave.
you?
Someone else. though. I could see them
Okay.
going after other people. I don't think Olave is the guy.
Do you have an example of anybody just off the top of your head that you could think of the Steelers going after? If not, that's no big deal. I would like Olave for a
Man,
third.
people say Ayuk again all over.
No, I don't want
for whatever reason, Tomlin loves Ayuk, so Ayuk's,
they look alike.
Ayuk's there. I
look
think
like
they would
twins.
still try and go after like a Garrett Wilson.
I think Garrett Wilson is locked in because Justin Fields is his quarterback now. He doesn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah,
That's
but
his college
it's
quarterback.
It's the Jets, bro. So.
You know what I mean?
I do agree with that, but back to the Saints, I agree with everything that you said, except for the Olave part. I wouldn't mind if he was available to try to get him. We have a lot of draft capital for next year. 12 picks, I think I seen last time. 14?
Yes.
So
I say we just hold on to him and draft a bunch of kids.
I don't disagree with that either. However, when we go back to talking about specifically now this year's Steelers wide receiver room, it would not be a bad thing to get Chris Olave
Right.
if
Yeah, no,
available.
it wouldn't be
And-
terrible. Not at all.
Again, that's just
I wouldn't hate Olave.
that's what, maybe 2 picks, a second and a third, next year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Then we have 2 seconds, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, 2
Two of
fifths.
everything. Well, I don't think we have 2 seconds, but we have 2 of everything else.
We got 2 seconds.
How?
We have 2 seconds.
I think we have 3/3.
no,
No.
so a lot of them are comps.
I'm
though.
thinking of. You're right. We have
Yeah.
3 thirds, 2 fourths, and
Mhm.
2 fifths.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
You are also right about that. Yeah, we have 3/3. We're comp to third, we're comp to fourth, we're comp to fifth, and we're comp to sixth. We got 2 picks from Dallas, and then there is still, I believe, a lingering pick involved from either the
Yeah, there is
Commanders
some sort of
or the Rams.
yeah, some sort of compensation pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I see the want to just go all in next year with all that we have, because obviously that's so much.
And you can't miss on everything. If you have that
No,
many
not at
picks,
that
right?
point. But at the same time, since we do have so much, man, like if we could in the interim just improve, especially the wide receiver room, that could then next year when we do get a quarterback, help set a strong foundation for him. So think about this: DK, Olave. Let's say Rock turns into baby DK,
Yeah.
and now we have like 3 really decent wide receivers, and we have what's the running back's name that we got in the
Caleb
draft?
Johnson.
Caleb Johnson.
And he starts busting it up.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Look at that foundation that they have to get a quarterback in there, or maybe even Will Howard blossoms into something.
Agreed with everything you just said there.
So
Yeah.
I
same.
think having one other like true veteran that is really serviceable in the locker room at wide receiver would really help the Steelers out.
And one
Yeah.
that's
And
not a
if-
hot
I think it would too, but I don't
Well,
see.
it's
Because
temperament.
like who else is available? I don't know really, but like who?
I mean,
who
There
else-
are a couple guys. They're obvious. They're all older. They're all out of their prime.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Essentially.
Olave is really not that old. What is he?
no, he's his
29.
3rd year in the league.
26. Yeah, his problem was concussions.
Yeah,
he's in
he's
his
got
rookie
concussions.
signing
Dang,
contract
okay, no,
year.
we
yeah,
don't
he's,
need
he's
him.
going into his 4th.
We don't
year,
need
right?
him.
His problems was concussions.
That's what I'm saying.
We
think
don't
there's-
need
Yeah, with the concussion history,
He
I'm
gonna
like,
die.
I
He
would
gonna
rather
die in the
go a
North.
different route. I
He
wouldn't
gonna
hate
die
getting
in the
Olave,
North.
but it's just
Yeah.
with the concussions.
Yeah, because
So
we don't
but-
play fair in the North.
So
man.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. For me, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers guys should go after somebody at wide receiver.
I think.
Um,
I
they
don't
were
think
talking
that
about
we're
DJ
done.
Moore. I heard
Yeah,
talks
actually,
about
you know
going
what?
to get DJ Moore from Chicago.
I did too. I actually heard that too, and that is probably more. I would like that a little bit more
Yeah.
than.
no, 100%. I would like it more too. I just think it would cost more, and the
I
actual.
don't mind the cost. I just
I don't think that the Bears would want to give up their number 1 wide receiver.
So
Did
what
they
I
view
heard.
him as a number 1 wide receiver?
So what I heard was that like
They got Luther Burden. It's the reason why he's up in the air.
Roman
Mm-hmm.
Dunze, yeah.
Yeah.
and that so and
And
they
Colson
got
Moore.
a new like hierarchy.
Yeah, they
at
got a
the
new head
front office
coach.
and everything.
Mhm,
So they kind of want to just start fresh, like with the youngest, that they had,
Yeah.
and then start there. And
Ben
DJ
Johnson
Moore would
wants
be
to
the
build
cutoff
his
with that.
culture.
Yeah,
I agree with
DJ
you.
would be
That could be a
That's
reason.
what I heard would
Yeah.
be the reason why they wouldn't mind moving on from DJ Moore, and I would hope that they would do something like that.
Yeah.
And look, we
I'd
fleeced
totally
them for
Totally
Fields,
happy with.
and didn't we fleece them with
For Claypool,
Yeah.
brother.
Claypool,
Come
yeah,
on.
Claypool,
yeah,
That's the big fleece.
Yeah.
like
That's the
we
big
stayed
fleece.
fleecing the Bills
What
or
up,
the
Braden?
Bears.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So yeah,
It would have been a first round pick.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Guys, let us know in the comments whether you're a Steelers fan, whether you're just
Just
an
a
NFL
football
fan.
fan.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you're a
Literally.
football fan. If the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to trade for a wide receiver, who do you think it may be? We kind of think it might be either DJ Moore or I mentioned down in New Orleans. I don't know why I can't think of his name now.
Olave.
Yeah, Chris Olave. Let us know what wide receiver do you think is available out there that is on a team but might be on the trade block that the Steelers could potentially pick up. Let us know in the comments on that one. Guys, was there anything else that you wanted to cover here today? We were kind of rapid firing back and forth different things. I kind of said the NBA draft was rigged. Nate's was over here saying that freaking dude from Duke is being put on a pedestal and he doesn't deserve it.
I don't think
Ben
he
was
doesn't
looking
deserve it. I didn't say that. Cooper Flag is good. He is good. It's
Ben-
just different.
Ben's over here like, I know nothing about what these two are talking about in the NBA, but that's okay. Guys, let us know in the comments who your NBA team is, who you're rooting for in the playoffs, whether maybe you're a Celtics fan and your playoffs might be over.
Don't say that.
Drop a comment. Let us know.
Don't say that.
If there wasn't anything else for today, Ben, did you have anything else you wanted to drop in with Nate here?
Also, I heard about going after one of the Packer wide receivers,
That could be a
like a Romeo
possibility.
Dobbs or Christian Watson.
Yeah. That's another one. Let us know which Packers wide receiver do you think is not going to be on the roster
Or Wicks.
at the
I'd
start
take
of
Wicks, too.
2025? Because one of
Wicks is
those
all
guys definitely has to go, whether it's Wicks, whether it's Dubes, whether it's Christian Watson,
I would.
Reed.
I'd like to have any of those wide receivers as like a wide receiver too.
Yeah, for sure. With Golden being gone, or with Golden coming in, rather,
I can't
one of those guys has to be gone.
Because that's honestly, if you look at the Packers wide receiver room right now, it's all a bunch of wide receiver twos.
Yeah.
No one's like a standout one. Watson has the most potential to
Mm-hmm.
be. If he can stay healthy for a year, he can be a wide receiver one for a team.
He could.
But they're all wide receiver twos right now.
Get better, Packers wide receivers. Nate, did you have anything for us in closing
Just
today,
two
man?
things.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to shout out, even though we're I hope you guys know that our pitcher Skeens,
Oh, he fired.
he's been selected to the USA team.
Oh, yeah? Let's go, Paul Skeens.
Yeah, shout out to Skeens.
All right.
Shout out to Skeens. Shout out to Skeens.
I hate
And
baseball.
also, I do too. Because I hate baseball because the Pirates
suck.
I love baseball because it's an extremely great sport, but I hate it. because
Baseball's a
they
great
suck.
sport. The Pirates suck.
But I also
Booty
wanted
cheeks.
to mention Crosby and McKinnon reuniting on the Canada team.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah,
that's not,
Okay.
USA.
Yeah.
But shout out to our boys
For sure.
reuniting,
Yep.
going back to play for their home squad.
In the hockey world, I wanted to add this. He reminded me of it. Ratnan, dude. Killing it for the Stars. Ratnan traded twice.
Oh yeah.
Twice this season, guys. Ratnan was traded from the Hurricanes?
Well, he went from the Avalanche to the Hurricanes. Didn't want to be there. They traded him to Dallas.
to Dallas, and Dallas has turned him into a playoff man. He's killing it in the playoffs.
So, because he wasn't going to sign with Carolina.
That's
he told
right.
him, he showed up. He's like, I'm not going to sign with you. Like,
Well, guys, I think that's all I have for today. Looks like Terry's hopping in late. That's okay, Terry. Check it out on YouTube, guys. Appreciate you for June tuning in today. I said
For
tube-
tuning into
yeah,
May.
I said
Oh, look at that.
yeah, we're
That's what I
tuning
meant,
in.
right?
Then
Thanks
he's
for tuning in.
into the show.
Thanks for doing whatever you did today while this show was on and it was on your screen. We appreciate it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. What's your ad on YouTube?
At Horace with a U at the end.
Check it out. Add him on there. You'll see his content popping through. Nate does his thing. Guys,
Yeah.
till the next one, peace out.
Peace.
Later.